Okay, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Grand Awakenings. Um, I am Yahshua's J. Silva. This is Autodidactic Wellness. What's going on? Feel free to leave question or comment. This is a learning place where I welcome those of you to join me on a journey of generational curse breaking, of hunting and finding truth, protecting innocence, and healing, spiritual ascension, shamanic healing by way of, look at you guys here. Feel free to leave questions or comments. We got Instagram, Facebook, but I encourage everybody to join the YouTube. A lot of my energy, if you guys seen from TikTok to Facebook to IG, we got a lot of followers, but we're going to get that targeted on YouTube right now. And today's subject, Soul Tribe Sunday, tea time. Brought to you in part today. Can you guys hear me all right on Facebook? I've been having problems on Facebook with the audio, but give me some thumbs up on Facebook if you could hear me. And welcome to a discussion on shamanic healing. I will do the best that I can to keep this without saying too many ums. We're going to keep this as best of presentation as we can, so we could leave it at least here on YouTube and such. All right, you guys could hear me good over here on Facebook. Wonderful. Today's tea time is brought to you in part from one of our favorite sponsors here, and we'll have products at the shop. Mother Mile 3, follow Mother Mile 3. This is a nice, actually this is a combination, but today's tea time is brought to you by Immunity Tea. Nice little soursop, ginger, cayenne infusion, but I also got some of her elderberry and such in there. Can't hear you on Facebook, but yes on YouTube. All right, yeah, Facebook had a problem. We might have to take them down. All right, Facebook, you guys follow YouTube and have a wonderful day. All right. We're going to just not cancel that stuff. Maybe we'll get some background music. This will be even better. All right. So follow Mother Mao for respiratory steams. If you're in LA, and my condolences to everybody's losses in LA. No surprise there. And if it is a surprise to you what's going on in the world today, I suggest you follow here. And I'm going to be getting more, helping people keep up with the things we've been sharing for the last few years. All right, so shamanic healing is the topic of the day. You guys got me good on YouTube. All right, you know how IG treats me. So to deal with this topic today, I even wore a wonderful neck piece of the Maasai tribe. Gifted from a wonderful Bambara tribe elder from Mali. So, shaman. What is shamanism? What is shamanic healing? Okay, shaman. The root word to the word shaman, the linguistic word to what they tell us is the root word to shaman is sa, to know. Sa means to know. So hence shaman is the one who knows, and it's a knowing of what some people would call, I guess, Gnostic energy, or more elevated energy. Those connected to the spiritual realm and the animist in use of Mother Nature to heal and to make it through this earthly realm. Those that still have a spiritual connection. The Lakota speak, and here in the U.S. and the Western culture, the Lakota speak of a Hioka, and that is pretty much the the biggest known out here in the West with the native tribes and the speaking of empaths or trickster energy. That would be the best known terminology. Um, but now there are many different kind of shamans, just like many different kind of priests, because there are many different spiritual entities, even though there are some shamanic entities. Vanessa, was good. I hope you guys follow the YouTube, but you guys leave a question, leave a question. We're talking about shamanic healing. We'll talk about my sittings with clients, and we'll talk about some of the medicines from Hape to Sanaga to medicines such as even sage and the medicines of resonant energy, the medicines of me, the medicines of we, being able to be the medicine, Um, Anyway, um, so um, to use okay, animism, that is the recognition of spiritual realm. All indigenous tribes were animists before the religionists came and started forcing upon religions, whether they came out of Babylonian faith or Abrahamic faith that got hijacked by invaders and then took benevolent or traditional Abrahamic faith and perverted them also into religions of control and stuff. But um, from the beginning of time, um, animists, these shamans, those connected to the spiritual realm, have been the enemy of the state of, I can't, of the establishment. Ever since Cortez and took the conquistadors and stuff into Brazil or came into South America, the enemy of the uh, um, states, the enemy of conquerors, the enemy of the intruders have always been the shaman. Because even once uh, the soldiers came across the shaman and they came across a different kind of healing, a knowledge of self, a deprogramming, the blessings, wrong word, that's King James, the benedictions and the divine gifts that we could receive um, through using plant medicine, through detoxing, through deprogramming, has always been the enemy of puppet masters that need puppets to control. So we see many stories of shamans throughout history of shamanic healers. It doesn't matter the names that we use, from the modern day Christians and them to get from Jesus, which we all know, Yeshua, um, to break down even further and to get scary to people, Yeshua. The roots of it. Yeshua was another shamanic healer. Yeshua was walked barefoot. This was the stories that the Greeks came upon when they started turning Yoruba gods into Greek gods and started adding Zeuses and everything, even to make Jesus out of Yeshua or Eshu being salvation. Um, but the so-called apostle, favorite apostle John the Baptist, was the founder of the Gnostic religions. They at that time used Kikignon or um, um, Syrian root. They used a pineal enhancing medicine similar to the ayahuasca or um, San Pedro cactus, certain mushrooms or DMT infused, medicines. The Jesuses, the Buddhas, the Ahmad, the Odu man, Muhammad. They never had a church or a religion. They were in touch with source of the oracle, and they used shamanic ritual and Mother Nature to tap into the divine consciousness, to tap into a the so-called Christ consciousness, Krishna, Christos, using the fluids and the natural energies that we are as these electromagnetic beings, which is why you have Eshu Owalbata, Eshu as we speak. You could say Jesus, Eshu Owalbata, Eshu without sandals, because these shamanic healers that battled the establishments and came with Mayati and balance and as such, moved without sandals, as shoe without sandals. That's why they always had to, or Jesus was always cleaning up the feet of people and stuff. Grounding, Eshurita, the one that goes to wilderness. This is why your Jesus figure, Yeshua, Yahshua. They always speak of this character as one that goes out to the wilderness and meditates, that purges, that detoxes and pukes out the demons, and assisting others to puke out these demons, these parasitic demons and such within. And so, what happens? Nicene councils, all this other stuff. What do they call the inquisitions and everything else, the so-called witch hunts, the lynchings of even the last reconstruction or reset. We see many of these was all about so-called conjurers or shamanic healers or practitioners. And so they have always smothered the truth, smothered the traditionalists, the those that they will write into their stories and praise as God figures or deities, but then make a religion or a controlling, malevolent factor out of it. So, anything, questions or comments? Nah. Healings, medicines. All right. My journey with this has been since birth. Okay. Black elk, a Lakota, you know, what was it, Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse. These are like the only ones that kind of had some stories left to tell, other than everybody else that got, slaughtered, shipped out of America, or enslaved. Many of the shamanic healers on record, many of the shamanic healers as we speak with the African cultures and the tribes and stuff like that. It's not something that is a choice. It is something that is, either, as I'm seeing now, the spirit that comes into this realm, and into certain families, and just with our parcel, we come down from heaven. We have, certain gifts or necessities. Maybe it's dyslexia, maybe it's the inability to fall victim to the programming of King James or your mama's church and all this and that. And it can be many things, but sicknesses that come with the spiritual sicknesses that manifest physically due to our spiritual suppression, being born into these like me and a lot of my relatives being born into Zionist Christianity households or the such like that. That is a shock to your spirit. Having to go to kindergarten to 12th grade in LA Unified School District as somebody that is told to sound things out. And then you can't say that's a knife, but that's not Ati, but K's are silent and everything else. These people can't even get their English definitions and their math together as they try to tell me that 3 times 0 is 0, and I said, but the definition is to multiply, and they talking about subtraction, and then they sit there and they tell you that you get a D or you failed because you said you're acting now, because K's are silent and it's Kathy, and Anyway, it is a stressful existence for you know um, those of us that come here into this earthly, born into this earth game, but still have one foot in the spiritual realm or one foot in the physical, while we're raised around God fearing households that don't believe in the spiritual realm, that only believe in the indoctrination of religion. So these can even manifest as sick, fevers, um, emotionally stressed out children. A lot of things can manifest, and so um, the ability for what used to be the shaman, the elders, before the family was torn to trash like it is now in this Western society. Um, it would be able to be recognized what child had maybe a spiritual connection. You can go to divination, you can go to Ifa, you can go to the oracle and find out what this spirit is down here to do. You might have a highly in tuned empath. You may have a seer. You may have somebody that has the ability to divine. You may have somebody that has a very big spiritual contract to help others, to heal, to use all boom the herbs, the herbs to heal the nations and the such. These are the natural born shaman. And in today's society, they're going to end up on everything from doctor prescribed Adderall to Ritalin to Xanax to some other calcifying or methamphetamine pharmacia. The I don't know. We gotta see how deep we keep going into this. When was the last reset? What was that about? I'm just hearing about this recently. Um, Can we talk about this? Are we gonna give me suppressing stuff over here? All right. Modern memory. Last time we got knocked back to the Stone Age. Um, boom. Abraham Lincoln gets knocked out. It was the last. It was the 1800s. But these are all planned way ahead of time and everything else. But um, from what we see, um, 200 years ago, um, it was nothing. Ellis Island, shipping in um, a whole new kind of people. The stuff that's happening now from so-called wildfires that were great fires back then. Um, the tearing down of society, we all see it. The great fires, the I don't know how we gotta call up, and you got my phone number over there too. We could have a private one, but you gotta figure. I could quote Black Elk, um, Black Elk, and I'll quote Black Elk. Man, they're gonna jam you. Um, the last reset is when it went from stonemasons to different kind of masonry. You know, the buildings changed. We used to have cathedrals. We used to have castles. We have around here from New Bedford, every block got stonework. I go from Brooklyn to the Bronx. Beautiful stonework, all covered over by cement and the such else. Um, the last reset of the banking systems was around 1914 and the such at the same time as the world wars start. And a whole lot of children start disappearing and reappear in other places. Um, um, the Reconstruction was the last reset. It was called the Reconstruction. The Reconstruction happened during the time of Abraham Lincoln, the Civil War. During the Civil War, down to the World Fairs, um, This was a whole different place that's got reconstructed. The bricks are different. The cement is different. There are no bells. Um, the energy centers got turned into places of war shops. Um, the vanilla ice cream that comes from a black vanilla bean all of a sudden turned white. I see the reset happening now more than anything from the way I read Berenstein Bears to Berenstain now, from J.C. Penney to Looney Tunes. I was telling people this in 2020, and now they're starting to see. And it's a little less dangerous to talk about now because it's obvious, you know. But all right. Okay, so other than that, we're going to get onto some shamanic medicines. My story with shamanism started on, I don't know. I don't know if it's every lifetime, but many lifetimes ago. We'll get into that and and how to work with remembrance. Um, I myself dealing with pineal enhancing, medicines and as such, um, interact differently than a lot of people when it comes to the spiritual realm, astral realm, the ability to dream lucidly, and my interaction with people and the dreamscape. This is all just spiritual, assets that we come down with, and we all come down with different directives or contracts, and so some of us, we come with um, um, abilities to be tapped into the spiritual, to be able to help others, to guide others, and to champion in the spiritual realm. So um, ever since even high school, I was taking mushrooms or the such, adjusting my sight and energies. Now, the shamanic healing and getting back to this really came into play after running and being a lost soul for my adult life, but falling into a doctor prescribed pill habit and being a pillbilly, dealing with loss, dealing with accidents, blunt force trauma, dealing with so much traumas and pain. For a few years, I numbed myself with doctor prescribed pills and opioids and liquor and everything. And then I chose not to no more, just as I chose to. So it was that time when I refused to sit and um, deal with these doctors that wanted you to do all kind of substitutes, Suboxone or methadone, or they just want to keep you a junkie on another thing or wean down them. I had a very tough time finding any assistance, just finding comfort and support to back my play. Everybody wanted you to do something their kind of way to get assistance. So I had to do it all on myself, and it was the use of plant medicines to help me detox from a habit that I'm sure not many people have even heard of. Never mind, as far as my intake of prescription drugs and stuff that I stopped 10 years ago. So it started to stop 10 years ago, and I don't know, since 2017 or so, I haven't had an issue with. Um, I don't care about how long it is. We close the door on that shit. So in 2020, after already, being a product of my mother, of my father, of very holistic upbringing from the households I was raised in. Um, Getting back to that, but having interest to go to Peru, to go have ayahuasca session and the such was my main focus in 2020 when all this sickness happened and blah, blah, blah. Here we are. So the introduction to, at the time, a smokable form of ayahuasca, chenga, um, a smokable form of ayahuasca. It was at that time. where I had the first awareness of self, spiritual connection. I had also at the time a past life reflection, but I had such a empowering. Uh, um, I had. That is why we are here now. It was such a powerful session that within days and months, I was already, driving across country, going to follow signs, listening to spiritual guides that I could identify now, but I couldn't then. From Coco Pele, especially in the beginning, Coco Pele, and other, the Wakinyan, the energies of the, especially out there, the Grand Canyonish area and the such. I, I can now explain now, especially after dealing with the elders and tribe with identifying what I am as spiritual, identifying what I am, and the assistance. It's easier to go back and to explain. But the usage for me of the plant medicines to detox first and foremost, and the assistance to use from moringas to mullins to even it don't matter if I get stabbed up a graze wound or if I'm half bleeding or I get bit by the brown recluse or whatever. I'm not one to go to a hospital. I think I'm gonna survive it or it wasn't meant to be, So I've used all these and on lives and everything. I've always used Mother Nature or self-healing because I always felt I could heal myself. And then not just that, the pineal enhancing medicines um, gave me the ability to tap in as we would if we were into meditation from a youth as a Buddhist, if we were raised in indigenous culture and always kept in part with our spiritual selves. So to find a cheat sheet, as I was calling it, to tapping into to heaven, um, um, to the astral, to be able to tap into the spiritual realm just through meditation. That's going to be tough for us. And this is why it comes down to the detox and the removal and the downloads that we receive, is to get a um, on that path to where not even a medicine or such is needed. We'll just do breath work and our intention. We can tap in as need be. What's going on? Question or comments too? I keep forgetting over here about IG. But other than that, the ability, or especially with my clients and stuff now, to bring grounding medicines, to bring, as I do with using some of the I use a blend of cultures because the such, but using South American uh, um, um, ayahuasquinero, the medicines with the hape, the sinaga, the medicines of South American tribes, Colombia, Peru, and stuff like that. The hape, for instance, to use for um, grounding. The cacao, the tobacco, and I don't mean none of the corporate stuff. And let me say this again too. I'm not advocating, and I'm not attempting to sell any kind of anything, from a tobacco to anything other than the products that you see in the storefront. I am just here for educational purpose for a lot of people that reach out and question it, and the assistance that I give to a lot of people, and give testimony, educational purposes only. But the blending of the peace pipe culture of North American um, um, indigenous cultures that we see some anyway. Yeah, um, with the still ceremonial and grounding tools of everything, from all kind of places, even some of the African herbs, which are so powerful and stuff now, from detoxing to the such. But the ability to use plant medicines for some of us that are capable but are so dulled down in our vibrations to tap into our empathetic selves, our spiritual gifts, to tap into the gifts that were suppressed by mama's church or the kindergarten teacher, or the non-believers that couldn't believe you had that extra sight, or couldn't believe that you had some extra um, spiritual gifts, or because their narcissistic views, or their lack of, they could not fathom that we had spiritual gifts. So a lot of us, we just got our gifts suppressed. And so the ability to ground, to decalcify, and to reprogram, to deprogram, by Mother Nature's means, is what I champion for, and as such, due to legalities of the certain medicines, and as such, that's only in certain cities. We it's even applicable in private residence, but the um, regular usages of daily plants, and grounding medicines, the sages, the energy balancing, the crystals, the uses, and just adaptation of our mindset to animist, to recognize the spirit in that plant, to recognize the energies of so-called deities. How else do you tap into Mayan energy, or people want to be of Maya, if you can't sit there and resonate with the principles and the such, and then apply them to self? Um, this is all stuff that us here in the West find a trouble to get through, to all the programming, from TV to academia to indoctrination, and this religious sites and shit. Um, uh, we need a reset ourselves as far as the spiritual nature and such. Um, as plant medicine is very necessary for spiritual awareness here in the Western world. Um, Definitely, because we're so toxified by drugs. Um, uh, the Bible says it. Many biblical texts, the Quran says it, that the herbs will heal the nations. Um, and that's the problem with the day, is that the herbs have been tampered with, and the such, Um, the salts have been, everything has been tampered with. So the need to detox, even more the need for fasting. Shamanic healing is not just sitting and sipping on a cup of ayahuasca, or eating a handful of mushrooms, or tapping in with a peace pipe. Um, Shamanic healing is the purging of demons, the purging of parasites, the decalcification of your mind, the realizing that our breath work is empowering our spiritual self. Shamanic healing is the realizing that pana, as they would say in South America, but the bad energies that we collect, the reason why I have black tourmaline and shungites in between me and the phones and the energies and stuff here. The reason why I know and can feel how that Palo Santo is going to smooth out the energy, and I've never had a smoke stick to me and feel so pleasant as Palo Santo or the such. But the realization that we are such sensitive electromagnetic beings. Not all of us have the same gifts, but those of us with that empathetic nature, those of us that are the healers that are down here to heal, um, the the um, the natural born mystics down here. Not all shaman are gonna be running around with a hallucinogenic or psychedelic medicine or the such. You're going to have the natural born healers that can help you rid yourself of disease. You're going to have somebody that can do wonderful spell work or no herbal mixtures. You got Onisha Gun. You got those that work with Ogun. Ogun is the plants. Ogun is the medicine. There's a difference between Ifa or divination or the divine and Ogun, which is the medicines. The herbs that will heal the nation. There are the practitioners of meditation, Reiki. There are diviners. There are many different kind of shaman, and many of us with different gifts and attributes. It's not like it's one class or the such. Um, all right, did I miss anything? Mm, I sat with some of you, a lot of you. I sat with Buffalo that's watching now, but let me think what else I had to say. You cannot get a certificate to be a shaman. Um, you can go and learn with a shaman. You cannot learn to be a shaman. You can use shamanic healing. Um, you can learn shamanic healing. Um, you cannot not be a shaman and say, hey, I'm going to go get certified and blow some tobacco off somebody's nose and go run around with mushrooms and say that I'm a shaman now. Just like everything else from African spirituality and Ifa to what King James and Constantine did to Christianity, to what the Babylonians and Persian invaders did to Islam and everything else. Um, you always have a European nature um, taking of indigenous or learning of indigenous customs and then using their minimal degrees to try to enforce or act like they know something. I have a secret and stuff. Um, so many shaman are out there that are lost souls right now. Um, there are many to be awakened. Um, And that's why I assist with a lot of people too, even just with the recognition of knowledge itself. I made the mistake of thinking that everybody that ran around and did the same medicines as me was going to have the same effects, and that wasn't even close to being true. But now, um, I know and I can see, I can see the energies that a lot of people hold. I can see the traits because I can look back and reflect on my lifetime. But um, quit, don't be concerned. That's even like, you know, my concern before was being validated by some of these Western tribes and shit out here. But that's another thing too. You go read these Hopi, you go read the Hopi legends. Oh, soon the Rainbow Warriors, people from all nations and tribes are gonna come together to be Rainbow Warriors. Bam, 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 boom. Guess what? That Hopi elders, they don't give a shit. You pop up there looking like me, like I did 4 years ago, whatever, 5 years ago, with your copper skin ass and curly hair looking like me. They're not interested in Rainbow Warriors showing up. The Lakota tribe, they're not worried about no Hiokas showing up. If you got no association to the tribe and their differences, you know. Um, but those that have been suppressed of the truth, we look back at the Hopi prophecies that at the time of Messiah, the time of the split, they know that it is the time of the black brother. They know that when they talked of the pale brother coming back with the wrong symbolism, the symbolism of the oracle and the 4 points, they came back with the wrong symbolism. They know this is a time of cleansing now. Um, they know of the shames that they hold in every so-called civilized tribe that got to sit here and survive these days, due to a forefather, this such, or blending. Um, a European, a lightening of everything of the truth, um, down to the African religions. Um, but the time of the energies is what's now, not the time of those that have learned stories or secreted stories, or talk about somebody came back to the Greeks now when the Greeks went and made up every other god, but now Hermes came back and Toten Tahuti came back and everything else. Um, those that can resonate and feel the falsehoods, the people that have not attached themselves to anything in this lifetime, as far as you know, societies, gangs, or religions, or not necessarily gangs as much. I'm just speaking on my standpoint as far as association to any societies or anything, because we always felt we were getting direction from somewhere else and always were getting led by, on divine, you know, to be able to sit there and make it through today's society without attachment to many things. Um, that those are usually more spiritually connected, without loss. All right. Anything else? Always remember, I have no association or contracts with nothing and nobody, so I don't get monetary coverage or anything for this. I'm not getting monetized for everything, but YouTube, you guys share, please, and you guys, go ahead, drop a question. I wish I could see. I don't know how I'm doing. I'm using this computer. I'm gonna set up the cameras and stuff to get better viewpoints. But here, I got something for you to like I said, everything think they secreted other such like that. I used to on my Instagram and stuff, because of the energy, the Hioka energy. I used the word Hioka because at a time, um, about 4 years ago, actually, when I was leaving a Hopi reservation, driving back to Massachusetts one time, 2020. My brother Eddie, a Lakota elder that was at a Cherokee outpost down there in Oklahoma, probably off 40, coming up 40 and stuff, Oklahoma. Um, but he described me when I was telling of those tales, and really interested at that time still to try to see what these civilized tribes had to say about the anointment and everything. But he called me Hioka. And I studied on it, and I said, okay, I finally found what fits. Boom, boom, boom. Don't call yourself Hioka too much if you don't want to hear the Lakota tribe crybaby and talking about you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, Wakinyan energy, the Hioka, the trickster energy, Omoeshu, um, we'll talk a lot bigger than Hioka energy, but the trickster energies, the empathetic divine trickster energy, is a shaman. Yeshua, Yeshua, Yesha, Isa, um, the biblical story archetype of the shamanic healer, trickster energy. So the Hioka is here in the West, talk about covered by walking yan energy. And so dealing with the tribes out here in the West and stuff, I find a lot of complaints as I speak about a spiritual nature in the residents by these people that don't know nothing more than a liquor bottle or what the granddaddy sold out to or something else, as they complain about physical associations to so-called spiritual energies, spiritual selves. It's the same thing. Like I said, it's a whole lot of people that learned about something or read about something, but that don't know about something that will always bring complaints. So this is a wonderful gift from the Maasai tribe, Maasai. Um, and if you know Maya, benevolence, order, justice, Maasai, Ma, still coming from Ma, justice, balance, but the benevolent sons, pretty much the Maasai tribe, you still see, still with their, um, heavy indigenous, belief system. The Maasai, just like Yoruba, and these are the original inhabitants of Kemet and all this stuff before invasions and Persians and Europeans and all this stuff. These are the originators of everything, from Islam to Christianity to the stories of Yeshua or Yeshua, Isa, Jesus, blah, blah, blah. The tricksters here are considered protected by Wakinyan, as they will call here in the West, or the Sioux, the Lakota, the all that stuff. But yeah, I'm sure they'll recognize um, a piece here. The Thunderbird energy, Ash Shoes energy, is way bigger than the Lakota tribe, the so-called native indigenous that are still here, dancing around on TV or something like that, because they were allowed to when everything else was wiped out and enslaved and prisoners of war. You know, um, to sit here and sit with people that I sit with that can resonate, identify, and with right reason, um, articulate different things. It doesn't have nothing to do with a tribal affiliation or yes, DNA, but not your physical, uh, um, not your physical association to all this hijacked and lied to about who we really are. You know, doesn't have much to do with it. All right, what else we got here? Anything else? No. I thank you guys for watching. I gotta get on a phone call and don't forget to call my son. Um, but bracelets or the such, if you guys would like to support, as I was saying, I don't get monetized for none of this and anything. Reach out. You guys know where the shop is, then reach out. I'll leave the shop information on the post. Oh, you guys on YouTube don't got nothing. We got the business phone line here. If you've watched this much and you're interested in consultations, if you're interested in products, anything from the anti-fungal infused, all plant-based, handcrafted, black soaps. I have some sponges coming in for some kits, but anything that I have on client boutique services, you reach out 508-649-5743. And I'm located at 218 Rockdale Avenue, New Bedford, Massachusetts. Open most evenings and weekends, and I'm 4 years and 11 months into a 5-year plan. So, what's up, Buffalo? You guys, around Valentine's Day weekend, I'm gonna have a manifestation celebration or something, and we get ready. But you guys have a wonderful day. I hope some of the things I said help out. Shamanism is not all about psychedelics or pineal enhancing medicines. Shamanism is using Mother Nature, being the animist to heal, to bring wellness and balance to these organisms. Shamanism is returning to Mother Nature. And let me say this: the medicines, the pineal enhancing, the psychedelic so-called medicines, they are not for everyone. Um, they are not for everyone. And please be very careful. Let me make this very much utmost importance. Okay. The dangers of falling in or around these so-called shaman these days, running around with medicines or DMTs and the such like that. The dangers that I bumped into with people even so. Hey, you on IG? You gotta follow YouTube or something after this if it is sitting here getting you on the cheap sheets and shit. Okay. All right. So the dangers of bumping into somebody. Yeah, I gotta drop some important stuff for you guys here too. Okay. Maybe now we get a little music too. This will be a lot better. Um, all right. Dangers and concerns, and hopefully you guys see my authenticity here. I start talking about empaths or something else. Come on, hook onto the thing. Okay. All right. So, all right. Dangers of these fake shaman, maybe unprepared. Um, Very dangerous to run around with people that do not know how to set the environments, maybe even spiritual preparation. I have had somebody, okay, I don't speak on clients, but all right, I had a concern with very prominent in Miami, a psychiatrist. So psychiatrist and I were discussing concerns and as such with a client she had. People for money, a woman of my complexion wanted to go spend the $10,000 to go sit with a shaman and smoke DMT. Um, now, the damage that needed to be uh, um, healed, the healing that needed to happen due to a individual receiving, like I say, spiritual gifts back, divine, signs. So, a client of somebody else went and smoked DMT or something, spent all this money, a professional woman. And upon her going home, she had a profound experience. Upon her going home, and um, and her way of going home, she had an incident where she seen the psychiatrist told me she had hallucinations of seeing her ancestors clap for her. That she seen her ancestors clapping for her and as such. And she reached out to the psychiatrist and say, "Hey, I got my ancestors with me. What do I do now?" And the psychiatrist said, "Oh no, you're hallucinating. You're having a psychotic episode." They said, "Okay, call the shaman." The shaman just got the 10 grand in rent. He don't know nothing from spiritual realm to nothing else. He said, "Well, you talking about the ancestors here? I don't got no ancestors. I just had drugs and no concern for anything. I watched Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson and thought I was gonna give somebody a ticket to heaven, you know." So as I sit here and she's telling me that it took 2 months, you know, before it took 2 months of um, being institutionalized for a little bit and working so that she could get over the hallucinations and the psychotic break. I said, "Oh, you guys broke that woman." Um, and I asked the so-called professional, I said, "Did anybody have any concerns or awareness for the ability of this beautiful copper skinned woman here to maybe retrieve or remember or be have the divine gifts and awareness now of who she is, of what she had as a child, spiritual gifts that came back that were suppressed, you know, as a child, maybe by the doctors or the drug dealers and stuff, you know." And the psychiatrist looked at me like I was, she couldn't fathom it. With all her professionalism, academia, and knowledge of Sigmund Freud, and probably the never mindings of wonderful minds like Friedrich Nietzsche or such like this. She could not picture that her, the shaman she was setting people $10,000 up with, could think of the spiritual association for some of us when we tap into our spiritual antennas, when we empower our our antenna to ancestors, to the spiritual realm, to everything, to Mother Nature. Our first eye is getting the allowance to resonate and be open to energies. So if anybody ever gives you, if you guys even attempt question any so-called shaman that comes along or wants to get you on the state because of this point here, you are allowing yourself to be open just as much as you are being sensitive to other energies. You are so sensitive, everything from the subliminal programming and an industry song to a movie to some weird associate that you can now feel the energy inside of them that you couldn't feel before. All these things are going to make you very uncomfortable if you are sitting here on a state of openness to energies and enhanced sensitivity. The ability to have detrimental damage, so-called bad trips, and the stuff like this. It's not because you had a bad medicine. It's because you are inside dealing with bad energies or demons inside, which could even be just the parasites or the toxins inside, never mind skeletons you're trying to hide, or it is because you're allowing yourself to be around energies. This is why from with me and dealing with the as we see as somebody watching here has seen, the need to have a spiritual cleanse, the need to have spiritual protection. Well, my concerns to have as I deal with clients and the such with everything, never mind the altered states of consciousness or meditative medicines on sacred plant medicines, depending on venue or where we are. It's not applicable everywhere, and I'm not um, advocating for anything of means for anybody to break local legal standards, mandates, or ordinances and shit like that. But again, this is educational only, and out of my concerns as an empath for a lot of people that I've seen from many years in history from my experiences, not from LSD to ecstasies to MDMAs to GHBs to, I've had more experiences with more quantities of more substances than these perverted little influences you see all exposed on TV that use substances in negative ways instead of pleasing or comforting or now I advocate only for natural medicines, but at times, not all intoxicants had to be used for perversions, and there is a lot of good, hey, tantric healing, sensual, sexual healing, the added pleasures that could be brought about by natural and unnatural substances has I've always provided medicines, and it wasn't always legal. But anyway, stay away from these people unless you question them. I don't care if they got certifications. You ask them when they got certified from, and when they say Mr. So and so over here, I don't give a shit. Um, the shamanic guides, it's the shamanic guides. It is. Walking on, it is Coco Pelé, it is Eshu, it is Ifa, it is, the indigenous primordial energies that are going to ordain, that are going to anoint with the information. And that's why I challenge anybody that challenges anything I say, from empath to that, blah, 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 crybaby, God fearing complaints. Um, it is what it is. I sit from your medicine man to your chief to whoever we want, and we let the bones fly. Or we sit there and we indulge and we go take this straight to heaven ourselves with a little discussion in the spiritual realm. I don't care if it's peyote, if it's ayahuasca, or you sit with me in my peace pipe and we go deal with the entities ourselves. I have no concerns that anybody pulling my card or talking about. You can't call yourself a shaman. You can't call yourself an empath. Um, Quit listening to people that don't even have the enough sense to question who has labeled you an empath, who has labeled you a shaman. You will see fools in my comment sections on any of these platforms, and you pay no attention to anybody that comes with any complaint. It's like these shamans with certificates, or your perverted pastor that you pay tithes to every Sundays, or everything else. Um, question them. Just question them. That's it. Um, question them. Anybody who does not want to be questioned, go. They deserve Deuteronomy. Um, um, this is a time of Yeshua, Yahshua, Buddha, Christ consciousness, Jesus. I don't care from the Megillah and the Nazarene text to Judean original text stories of Eshu, to the original Yoruba Torah or Quran of Ahmad, the old Imam Ahmad. Uh, um, all of these shamanic healers or the such spoke of times of now when the consciousness of the so-called Christ or Christos or whatever is going to be as common as the front myatria, as the Buddhists would say, and everybody else that tries to secret everything and the such. Um, the time of the Christ consciousness, the time of Omo the time of those that are spiritually here for a reason, and so are spiritually half in and half into this physical realm. Um, the time is now, and that's why there's trillions and trillions of dollars and resets after resets to keep people forgetting and to smother the truth of the energies that's out here. So I hope you guys appreciated this. How about this? Let me think. I want to make sure other concerns. All right. Anyway, at the last since 2020, I got about let's say over 300,000 miles on the road. I collected a couple 100,000 followers on social media, traveling, sitting, bringing wellness to people, walking into their houses. From times of quarantine and studying and being aware of everything that's being disclosed now, from fraudulent activities that happened in 2020 to all the distractions, being aware of all the perversions you guys just got exposed to this year, and been a lot of persecution and punishment on spreading my truth since 2020. But sitting with a lot of people, a lot of views, and that's why I encourage you to well, you guys see my authenticity. You do. You guys want to go complain, you end up with crybabies and a thing. But I'm not focusing or dealing much with the complainers or stuff anymore. We have too many people that show enough appreciation and gratitude for what we at SOD, what Sons of Delphino Wellness and Autodidactic Wellness here, what we're doing. So, from Buffalo to Vegas to LA to Oakland, you guys got to get to Oakland too. 1411 Franklin, everything you want, some shamanic goods from stones, crystals, geodes, sages. I gotta go get a lot of my black soap infused products there, but you guys need some black soaps and stuff to sit and cleanse without um oh, and the Shopify store. I'm gonna start it right now. I'm supposed to do it right now too, but we're gonna be on Shopify soon because then I'll be able to add it to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram and everything else, and at least get some things out there. Other than that, it is going to be mm, weekend of the February 14th and 5/4. 5/4/2025. That's a 9. That's 18. That's a perfect 9. So divine 9. We're gonna have survival is good. Please leave a question or comment real quick before I tap out. But we're talking about shamanic healing, shamanic path. Everything from breath work to detoxing is shamanic healing. Recognizing the energy and spirit from that snake plant to the aloe vera growing over here, and knowing that the herbs, so boom, is what can heal spiritually, mentally, and physically. Other than that, what else was it? Where am I? Where am I? Anything? Am I forgetting anything? Um, I do fly out. We'll usually be in Oakland. Oh, that's what I'm saying. 5/4. We're gonna have events here, so it's gonna be my 5-year anniversary, and 4 years and 11 months ago, I came back into society with a plan to somehow build a store and a brand and a place for me to have a secure and wellness around being a single parent and being able to homeschool and bring my youngest son home so I can sit and be the patriarch that I am. 4 years and 11 months ago, I told everybody in 5 years, who knows, I'm going to have a shop and some products, and I'm going to be an influencer on social media for benevolence. And everybody laughed at me, coming summertime Jesus and shit. Okay. I love that. This is great. We got all kind of. That's just. All right. So, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to say it once again, 11:11, and times as such. We have shamanic activities down at the Long Live Love Foundation in Oakland. We'll be back down there with Gabby and such, where due to city ordinances and stuff, we can have shamanic gatherings due to decriminalization of plant medicines. Sitting here in Cambridge, Massachusetts at the time now, we'll be having events. But as far as Sanaga, eye treatments, the hape meditation and the such, you're always welcome to come down and visit here in New Bedford in the springtime. Not only will we be having the events here, but retreats to the nature walks. To you guys need a shamanic escort around town to see antique architecture and energy centers around New England. You let me know, and we get it done. We're going to be with SOD Wellness, considering facilitating everything from financial wellness with Wellness Wayne and Wellness Wayne's group, production of CMOS and internals. I'll be having other teas here soon. But not just that, having the external products for wellness. We know everything absorbed through our skin. But here at the offices of SOD and now the manifestations of what we did, we like to say, do something good today, and you guys keep up. Love yous. Have a wonderful day. I love you.